Alright, g'day everyone, and welcome to another RealmWorks video. Tonight we're going to be having a look at 8-Bitz's XML transformation script. For anyone who's paying attention on the forums, you would have noticed that 8-Bitz released this. He's been working very hard on it, and basically has produced a script that will output or create a HTML or text-based output of your realm. It does take a little bit of effort, and guys, this is most certainly an advanced technique, so this is not something you should be doing if you're probably not comfortable working with a computer, I'll say. All right, we are going to be using some command line applications in order to do this. We are going to be changing some security settings in order to make this possible. All right, so if anything I've just said makes you nervous, I suggest you just turn around and go back to the forum boards and go back to RealmWorks and start working on something else. All right, but if you are willing to proceed, keep watching and let's jump in and show you how it works. And obviously the important thing about all of this is that this output is going to enable you to print your realm, guys. So pay attention. All right, so in front of me you can see RealmWorks. All right, and what we need to do is basically jump over to the forums. All right, and we're going to jump into the RealmWorks discussion forum. Once in here, we need to find the XML transformation script. That's PowerShell. This is the forum post 8-Bitz has put up, and you can see there's a link here to the GitHub, which I will put in the comments of this video. All right, that link will obviously open you up to the GitHub. All right, and what you want to do here is you want to hit the download zip button. That's going to download the file, as you can see over here. It's not very big, so it shouldn't take very long. All right, that's going to have a folder inside it. I'm just going to drag that onto my desktop. All right, once I'm there, I'm going to call it HTML output, because that's what I'm aiming to do tonight. Okay, so I've got my script. I've got it in a folder on my desktop. Now I'm going to go over to the realm that I want to basically print. So we're going to come over here. I'm going to play with my tutorial realm. For anyone who hasn't seen it, if you create a new realm now, you can actually tick a little option to include tutorial content. All right, this is the tutorial content. All right, we're going to do a quick export. All right, so we've got tutorial realm, and there's two options here, right? There's the full export, which is the one we're all used to using. That's the one that you can basically make an export and bring it back into RealmWorks afterwards. Or there's a compact output. Now this one's completely different. This is a file that cannot be used by RealmWorks. All right, it's for use by other applications. So we'll press that button and we'll click export. It's asking us where we want to save it. We'll put it on the desktop. It's going to smash through that depending on how big obviously realm you want to print. All right, then it'll load RealmWorks back up. All right, but we're done here now. We can minimize this. All right, I've got my tutorial realm. I've got my folder, which has got the script in it. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to open the folder, and we're going to have a look at the release notes for realmwork to HTML. All right, we can do text, but I think it'd be better to play with HTML. Now, if you open this in Notepad, by default, it's going to come up like this, which is ugly. I fully suggest working with Notepad++, because as you can see, As you can see, it opens up in a much more easy to use format. Okay, Notepad++ is a free text editor that's got a lot more functionality and power, which is great for opening files like this. Okay, so if you go through and read this, this is going to teach you how to do what I'm about to show you guys, and it's going to go into a lot more detail than I'll be capable of doing. All right, and the first thing we're going to do is we need to change the execution policy to enable this script to run. All right, we've got the remote sign section here. Now what this is talking about, the first time I tried to run this script on my own, it did not work, okay? And the reason it did not work is because the security on my computer was too high. It had basically set it so that scripts couldn't automatically run and they couldn't be run manually, obviously to stop hackers and all those nasties from trying to get into my computer and use scripts to disadvantage me. But yeah, I'm pretty comfortable that this script's not going to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and change that. So how do we see what security settings you are? What you want to do, if you're on Windows 10, I can't speak to other versions, sorry guys. We're going to come over here and we're going to open up PowerShell. PowerShell comes with Windows 10, so that's really easy. All right, and what we're going to do is we're going to get-executionPolicy space-list. We'll paste that in just by right-clicking in the PowerShell. All right, and you can see here that my current user is set to remote signed. All right, which is what I actually want. When I first started using this, I had a restricted policy. All right, and I'll show you what that looks like. So most of you will probably look like this, I imagine. And you can see my current user is set to restricted. And that's saying that I can't run scripts. All right, not what I want. So we're going to use this one here, set-executionPolicy space remote signed space -scope space current user space -force. And what this will do is set us basically back to the remote signed. All right, and this is saying that it'll allow scripts to run that have been remotely signed, got a digital signature on them. All right, so it makes it a bit safer. All right, once we're here, what we need to do is we actually need to change the directory that the script is looking at. All right, so right now you can see it's looking in C users deploy. All right, we want to go a little bit further than that. So we're going to do CD space, and then this is going to be dependent on your computer. I'm going to go users -deploy -desktop, I believe. And what we'll do is we'll just come in here and we'll check this. C users deploy desktop. What are we going to do? HTML output. I think that was the folder. Yep. All right, we're going to copy address as text. And what we can do is just come in here and right click and put that in there for us. All right. So just to run through that again, you can open up Explorer and you can browse to where you've basically to where you want to run the script, and then you can right click and you can copy address as text, and then right click in here to paste it back in. But you do need CD at the start, so CD space and then the folder path and where it is. All right, when I press enter, that now changes the active folder of the command prompt, so it's looking into this folder here. All right, from here we can now actually run the script. Okay, so let's have a look. This is the script up here. Okay, so it's running the export to html.ps1. So just so we understand that, it's coming in here and it's saying I want to run this file here. When I run that file, I'm going to set a source file. That source file is going to be my realm. All right, and obviously you will need to modify this path to match wherever your realm is and match the name of your realm. And then when we find it and we run our script, we're going to create a file at the destination. All right, this is where I want that destination file to go. All right, and this is the name that I want to give that file. All right, it's all pretty simple stuff. So I've already written this out. I'm just going to copy it. I'm going to right click and it's going to paste in. I'm going to press enter. Oh, it's not digitally signed. All right, so I can't actually run this. All right, so we're going to go back and discuss what I was doing before. I was using unrestricted. So I'm going to use unrestricted. And we try it again. There we go. So you can see here, the security options actually got in my way. My computer was set so it didn't trust this script. I've come in here and I've changed it to unrestricted. That basically opens the door for me to do this. It comes in here and says run once or suspend or help. I'm going to press R to run once. All right, and then it's going to begin. And if you're focusing up here, you'll actually see that the file has created. And it's in the process of being made. All right, we can see PSC users deploy desktop HTML output just came up. That's an indication that the script is finished running. All right, so that's it, guys. We've now got a HTML output. If we double click on this, you can see we've got some text output of what's contained in the realm. And from here, you can print. All right, this is where we got to with the first time I made a video of this. All right, and 8-Bitz was kind enough to point out that I missed something. All right, I'm not a HTML program, not a web designer. I've heard of CSS files, but I've never used one. And this is what you need, guys. That main.css file. Wherever you put this, make sure you put a copy of the main.css as well. All right, or I could have dragged this in here, would have worked either way. But now watch the difference. When I double click on this, I've now got some nicer headings. I've got some color coming in. All right, which is absolutely brilliant. Makes it a lot neater. And if I wanted to print, I could now just go print and send it to my printer. Now, there are more advanced options that you can play with. All right, I highly suggest that you come along and you read the get help file. All right, just so you can learn as much as you possibly can. I certainly recommend you come in here and you read the export notes. All right, have a good read, because there's some more advanced stuff in here that I'm not going to go into, but if you wanted to come in and have a good read, you can play around. As you can see here, there's some different sort of command line options that you can run to try and set this off. All right, so come in and have a read just so you can understand. I saw some things like including prefixes and suffixes in the output, so there's some things that you can do. Now, one of the other things that you can do that most people might find interesting is if you actually edit the CSS file, once again using Notepad++ because it's easier, you can see in here that this is basically, how the title is set up and how a topic name is set up. All right, so we'll change that to 60, for example. If we now open this file, we now have a much bigger text. All right, so it's pretty easy to actually make some changes. You can change colors. Just do an internet search on the color codes and you put the right code in. All right, so what is it? I think it's HTML color codes. All right, so if we want to go that one there, I'll grab that output. I'm going to put that in here and save. And then if I come back and reopen this, I can see I've changed the color. All right, if I then want to come back to my color wheel again, we'll go nice and bright, we'll go green. Background color, I'll modify that. I'll save that, and then we'll refresh and see what it looks like. All right, as you can see, I'm impacting the colors. So you do have a basic level of ability to manipulate the way this looks using the CSS file, which obviously impacts everything at the same time. So that's really handy. All right, and from there you can print. That's pretty much it, guys. It's a very simple process once you're used to it. I strongly recommend basically that once you've finished your print or once you finish your export, that you do come into PowerShell and you do set your execution policy back to restricted. All right, that's now set. You can check that by putting in the dash list on the Get-ExecutionPolicy. You can see I'm back to restricted, and that will obviously stop any rogue scripts from being run without my permission. And I just feel a lot safer if you all did that after I've made a video telling you to open up your security holes. So up to you whether you do it or not. All right, that's all there is to it, guys. Obviously, there's going to be more and more updates to the script over time, I imagine. I've seen 8-Bitz has commented that he's only working on text at the moment. I'm sure there's people out there who do want the ability to do pictures and things like that out of their realms. Who knows, maybe it's going to be possible. The only way we're going to be able to tell is if we keep playing and keep testing. So, all right, guys, if you've got any questions, if you've got any comments, please do ask them below. If you do find these videos useful, please do remember to subscribe. And apart from that, guys, I'll speak to you on the forums.